Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, the sexy and the not so sexy, big children and little. Went away for a little while. I really didn't go away, but I've been working. Let's talk about Fredro Starr. You know Freddie, right? Member of Onyx, ballhead invasion, back the fuck up and all that. The Fredro Starr story.
Jokey on the track.
I'm inspired to tell this story for a couple of reasons. I'm not going to keep you too long. This is probably going to be a 10-minute blog. We're in, we're out, we're gone, right? I'm inspired to tell this story because I am putting the finishing touches on I don't believe it's going to be my last album, but it potentially can be, and I'm approaching it like it might be, because I got some other stuff to do. It's time to separate, and I got some screenplays and whatnot to write. I gotta put some time in. And as a writer, I'm gonna have to go away for a while. So I was thinking about this because I'm in album mode, I'm in hip hop mode, and I was really thinking from a lyricist standpoint, what would make the best album? And I was thinking about just albums that I loved, albums that I enjoyed. What makes a great album? And I thought about Onyx's first album and how that hit and how it hit the hood and all of that good stuff. Of course, your man is from Queens. Onyx is from Queens. Performed alongside those fellas many times. Shout out to Fredro. Shout out to Sunny C's. Shout out to Sticky. Big DS. And all of that, right? So, you know, the cats is from around the way. I'm not trying to flex or nothing like that, but it just is what it is. I remember, this is just one story, so this isn't me like chronologically telling you how Fredro got his start. And sidebar, this is no shade at all. I'm just telling a story, and I'm telling the story for a reason. So Onyx comes out, and it spreads through the hood like wildfire, right? Okay. Now, the block that Vaughn, Velman, Pappy, Kenyatta, myself, and others, Moet, where we were at, 142nd place in Foch, there was a lot of street activity going on the block, you know? So you had a lot of guys living around that neighborhood, that intersection of 142nd place and Foch Boulevard, that was really about that action, okay? Sticky knew this. Fredro knew this. So, in that inaugural year when Back the Fuck Up just dropped, Freddie came through the block and he asked some of the fellas around. He asked Vaughn and he asked myself to come to a show that I believe they were doing. It was either in Brooklyn or the Bronx. And Fred was just like, we're doing this show and we need you guys to bring mad irons, quote unquote, to the show, you know. And a second sidebar, if There are 5 boroughs in Queens, and the street rules are this. If you travel a bit far from home, like going from Queens to Brooklyn or from the Bronx to Staten Island or whatever combination you could think of, you probably want to bring the strap with you. You know what I mean? You don't want to get caught lacking far from home. Fredro knew this. So he came to the block where he figured there was a lot of street activity going on, and he wanted a whole bunch of fellas to come strapped. And true to form, a whole bunch of fellas came to this show. Was it in the Bronx or was it Brooklyn? I don't remember what borough it was. I want to say the Bronx. I could be wrong. And, you know, he had them soldiers come out, and there was a bunch of soldiers. I was with the soldiers, but I wasn't a soldier. I am not a gangster. I'm not about that life, but I certainly grew up around a lot of them. Okay? I say this as a morality tale. Am I trying to paint Fredro like he's some kind of punk? No. Am I trying to flex because I know somebody in the industry? No. Am I trying to act like the guys that were around the way were tougher than the guys around his way or the guys he knew? No. This is more of a cautionary tale, okay? Everybody in the rap game does not need that kind of support. Now, don't get it twisted. I didn't rap about street stuff, but anytime Vaughn and my guys performed out of the borough or we ventured off, we had a crew with us. And if we couldn't bring a lot of guys with us, we just wouldn't go. That was the state of hip hop then, and it's still the state of hip hop now. Now, respectfully, for Onyx, the first album was called Back the Fuck Up. The first single was Throw Your Guns in the Air. Okay, hot song, but if you're gonna make a song like that, watch how it comes around. There's karma. Them guys in the street, those killers, thugs, and the rest of those murderer types might try and test your gangster. Oh, you're making a song about throw your guns? Well, we're going to bring all of our guns and we're going to see if you guys are about that life. Okay? Wu-Tang would do it all the time. Wu-Tang would show up with 100 guys. I remember I saw Biggie Smalls at the Ark before he became the Notorious B.I.G. He had 100 guys from Brooklyn with him. He had 100 guys from Brooklyn with him. Okay? That's just how you moved. If you're going to rap about street life, street activity, and then perform in the streets, you better be well insulated. That doesn't mean that guys that didn't rap about the street did not need protection. I'm pretty sure Q-Tip, Phife Dawg, and them was strapped. I'm pretty sure De La Soul was strapped. Even though they was talking about the Daisy Age on that first album, pretty sure they had the strap. Don't know if they had 100 dudes with them though, but I'm pretty sure they might have had one of them 22s in the shoes. You feel me? So I say all this to say, watch the energy you put out. What you put out will most certainly come back to you. And when you paint yourself in this light or this image, it may not be worth it to you in the long term because people will put you inside of a box and that is what you are known for. Okay? Now, Fredro, to his credit, did a lot of acting early in his career, so he was able to do other things besides being known as the throw your guns guy. okay? And they have some work that is actually critically acclaimed. After that album, they had a couple of bodies of work that I would be proud of had I made them. So this isn't the shade. This isn't the shade blog. It's just be mindful of what you put out there because it will most certainly come back to you. That's it. Is that 10 minutes?